welcome to ABC News. Today we find out the 20-year-old question of who killed little beauty star Jonbenét Ramsey. Today we have two forensics experts with us, and they're here to tell us what really happened. The infamous murder of Jonbenét occurred in 1996 when 6-year-old Jonbenét was found murdered at her family home. A ton of speculation came about this case on whether or not John Ramsey and Patsy Ramsey were involved in their daughter's murder.
Thank you for allowing time for us on your show. This is a case that should have been solved 20 years ago, but due to police incompetence and parental interference, the case has remained unsolved. However, we have finally uncovered what we believe happened on Christmas Day in 1996.
So the question we've all been dying to know is, who killed Jonbenét Ramsey?
After looking at the evidence, we have concluded that John Ramsey murdered his daughter and with the help of Patsy Ramsey covered it up.
So what do you believe happened that night?
The Ramseys arrived home that night after a Christmas party. Jonbenét was asleep and was carried upstairs by John. Patsy and Burke stayed downstairs, and Patsy was fixing a snack of pineapple and milk for Burke, and Burke was playing with the toy that he had received that day. Patsy and John go to sleep, and Burke is still playing. Sometime in the next hour or two, we believe that Jonbenét woke up and went downstairs to the kitchen where her brother was playing. Jonbenét likely grabbed a piece of pineapple out of the bowl since there was evidence of her eating pineapple shortly before her murder. This is where it gets tricky. After this, we believe that John Ramsey comes downstairs and takes Jonbenét up to her bedroom. Looking at the autopsy evidence, we believe that John begins to sexually assault Jonbenét with a foreign object. After that, we believe that Jonbenét began to cry, causing John to get scared that his wife or son would hear. Then, in the spur of the moment, he hit her in the head with a nearby flashlight. He just meant to knock her out. However, the blow ended up killing her. John then freaked out. He didn't mean to kill his daughter, and he didn't know what to do, so he woke up Patsy. He was hoping Patsy would help them cover up what he had done.
They then tied her up with a figure eight, which is what you use to tie up your shoelaces. They did this to make it look like she was kidnapped, but in reality, it doesn't really support the theory they were trying to go for, because if an intruder really came and tied her up, they would use a more complicated knot, like a slip knot or something like that, that holds better. And then after that, they taped over her mouth to make it seem even more like a kidnapping. Now, during the autopsy, there was DNA found under her fingernails, but that was just, what we think happened is that it's just DNA from earlier, when she was playing with the kids. Like, when kids are playing, they scratch each other, so it's just from another kid. And after this, they worked on the infamous ransom note that happened to be 3 pages long. John talked to Patsy, and she wrote down what he said. This would explain the 3 different tones that happened throughout the ransom note. There's like an angry tone that's very formal, then it goes to a motherly tone, back to formal, and then to informal at the end of the note. Also, to know that Patsy wrote it is her handwriting matches really similarly to the ransom note. And in the ransom note, they use the phrase, "and hence," which is a phrase that Patsy uses very often. Not many people really use that phrase. And when they were writing a note, they went with the idea that a foreign faction took their daughter. And to keep with this theme, they misspelled words purposely. They talked about beheading their daughter, and they repeat the phrase, "she dies," just to make it seem like she really did get murdered by this foreign faction. After this, John and Patsy take showers to erase any evidence that was on their bodies, and this explains why Patsy had fresh makeup when the police came. She then planted the ransom note on the spiral staircase, went to sleep. Then she called the police and acted alarmed when she woke up. But the minute she thought the phone was up, she wasn't alarmed anymore. So, which really shows that she knew what was happening. She was just faking it the entire time. And now we have a clip showing what we think happened.
You have to tie her up.
It's the best chance. Always have to cover the body. Yeah, everything will be okay.
This will work.
We need to write a ransom note, so grab that pad of paper. Okay. Start off with Mr. Ramsey. Listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We respect your business, but not the country it represents.
What do we sign in? We go to
SBTC. Should we call? We need to call 911.
Hello? 755 15th Street. We have a kidnapping.